Hello, YouTubes. Today I am doing something a little bit different. I'm going to introduce myself, which in retrospect I should have done at the beginning of this channel, but whatever. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little notification bell so that you receive all our videos. So with that, let me introduce myself. I come from a place that is called Goose Bay, Labrador, and let me just show you a map right here because I'm sure you have no idea where that is. I was born as a military brat, traveled all over Canada, lived in most of the provinces. I've been involved in animals because mainly of our environment, so I spent a lot of my time outside with animals. My parents also bred Great Danes, so I was surrounded by big animals for a really long time. And I started training animals. My father would have said that I started training animals at 5, and he would probably be right. I trained my official dog. I was young, and then for money, I started training professionally at the age of 16. So I've been doing this for quite some time, 35 years to be specific. So if you do the math, yes, I am 52 years old. So I've been around for a long time. I've seen the emergence of training, of science-based training. So a lot has changed since that time. And because of that, I've been somebody that likes to think outside the box and create new things and try to solve problems that most people are not even aware exist. My whole training has been based on motivating the animals to do really complex things. I've trained service animals, my own included. Now I teach animal behavior pretty much on a full-time basis. I do still train animals. I do aggression cases. Currently, I have 2 dogs. Albear, who has been famous over the 12 years of his life, he actually helped me create the Animal Behavior Apprenticeship Program where I teach you to be trainers. You can click on the link below if you want more information about that program. I also have a second dog. Harriet is a behaviour. She is Denmark's national dog breed. She is the Danish Mastiff. What people call a Great Dane is actually a German Mastiff. It comes from Germany. So the real Great Dane is the behaviour. The behaviors are amazing at multitasking. They can do pretty much anything you want them to do. They're amazing at tracking. They're amazing at swimming. They're amazing at running and jumping. They're extremely agile for such a large animal. They are hypersocial, so they're totally dedicated to people. And that is why Harriet is also an animal-assisted therapy dog. I imported the first 2 behaviors to Canada for that purpose. And Harriet is amazing at communicating and pulling people out of their shell because of that hyper-sociability. Now, when I started training, again, a long time ago, 35 years ago, it was punishment training. I'm not going to lie. That's all we had. We didn't have science. People weren't even interested in studying dogs. A dog? What does it do? What's normal dog behavior? We know what normal wolf behavior is, what normal coyote behavior is, but what is actually normal dog behavior? So in the mid-1990s, people started figuring maybe we should study this creature because we have no idea what it can do. And so I also saw the emergence of that science-based training. And now we're at the point where we're trying to push their learning more and more. That is my goal. I still go to school. I still go to university. I'm a learning addict, if that's a thing. I also love to teach, so I'm a teaching addict, and I love both. So I keep current in what's happening. And I also present conferences in different places, so I'm also hearing what other people are doing, and when it's novel and not mainstream, I'm kind of curious about, what is going on. So I like to make connections with these people and then push the envelope a little bit further. I've always been doing that. When you really, pay attention to what dogs are doing and you're really focused on their behavior, their learning just becomes phenomenal. And I know for most people, sit stay is like remarkable, or pow, you're dead in the park is like fabulous. Believe me, that's baby stuff. What we do at the dog shop, and especially the dog academy, is constantly try to create a dog that loves to think, loves to create, loves to problem solve, loves to learn. And Harriet is one of those dogs. She, people told me Brahomers are not that smart. They're not good working animals. They're not good service animals. And to this day, my breeder is always amazed when he sees Harriet do the things that she does, because nobody kind of pushes their dog. They assume that they're smart, but not that smart. Well, let me tell you, they're freaking smart. That's kind of me in a nutshell in terms of work. My personal life revolves around animals as well. Unfortunately, I'm also an author. I wrote a book and I have 3 more books that are coming out. And then I have another one in the projects. I love writing. That is my passion. What else do I do? Well, when I was in high school, dog training wasn't a thing. That didn't exist. My next best talent was the arts. So I studied the arts. I was in a special program and I studied the arts. I was fortunate to work as a set designer, painter, creator. So I worked in the movies, television, building things for museums. Although it was interesting, it wasn't my creativity. When a TV show comes and they want to build a set or something and you're choosing colors and designing with them, it's mainly their idea that you're bringing forth, not your own. So I also like to create a lot, and I love drawing, I love painting, I love sculpting, I like sewing. I used to make my own clothing. I like to do things. I like to try things. I love gardening. I love plants. I have a lot of plants. I especially love orchids. They're one of the most amazing plants. It's the second largest group of plants on earth, from the minute little orchids to the gigantic ones. I have a vanilla orchid. So yes, vanilla comes from an orchid. They're just so pretty and so diverse that you just can't get bored out of them. That's kind of me in a nutshell. I mean, I work a lot. I like to also hang out with my friends and chat about all kinds of things. I love spirituality and I'm very dedicated to A Course in Miracles. If you don't know what that is, I can put a link below as well. So if you want to investigate what A Course in Miracle is, I'm kind of going to end on this note because it's a really important one. A lot of people in the dog world or in the animal world in general often say, I don't like people, I like animals better. And I'm here to tell you, if you're interested in working with animals, guess what? There's a person behind them. So you have to deal with people when you work with animals, even more so than pretty much any other job. Hopefully this was a little bit insightful and that you got to know me a little bit more. If you have questions, by all means, I do read the comments. I try to read as much as I humanly possibly can. And I will answer you to the degree that I can answer you. And I know some of you use it and you're starting to use it a little bit more, which is really fun because I love people. So that's why we're here on YouTube, is to interact, exchange ideas. And I'm telling you, in the comments, I do not tolerate bullying, bad-mouthing people and all that garbage. It will be deleted. I want us to be able to communicate as normal people. You're allowed to have your own opinion. We're allowed to disagree. It doesn't mean that we need to hate each other. It just means that we don't agree on something. I have my point of view and my education and my knowledge. You have yours. And the goal is to try to find a midpoint to see what is your perspective versus my perspective. And if it's one thing that I teach my students, is to see both sides. You need to see both sides in order to know what they're experiencing and then make your own decisions and problem solve through that. I'm more than happy to read in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer some of your questions. Just be civil and respectful. I know YouTube is a hard platform in terms of comment, but I think we create our own community in that way. I do apologize. I'm trying so much to keep on that schedule, and when he is, then that'll be a bit easier. But I do promise that I am here. I haven't abandoned my YouTube channel. I love doing this. It's really fun. I'm getting better at it. I'm growing into it. It was nice chatting with you, and I hope you chat back so that we get to know each other.